Hello SV fam, carnivores, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Bella the Steak and Butter Gal. I hope you all are having a Gouda meat-fueled day. As always, update me down below in the comments on how you all are doing on your carnivore journeys. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram for even more carnivore content, easy peasy recipes, and interview snippets. Today, I have the absolute pleasure and honor to introduce to you all Cherish Thompson. Cherish has been on the carnivore diet for now 1 year. In this video, we deep dive into the most popular concerns and hurdles when going carnivore, regulating weight fluctuations, overcoming serious carb and sugar addiction, healing wrecked hormones, healing from a lifetime of yo-yo dieting, and how to cut out that last 5 to 10% of plant foods that you are still eating to really feel the full benefits of the carnivore lifestyle. Cherish will come on to share with you how she achieved all of the above and her tips and tricks and killer recipes on how to cut out that last 10% easily and effortlessly. I did want to announce that the September 30-day carnivore challenge is now open. I've been receiving a lot of emails and inquiries on when the September group will be open so that many of my new viewers, subscribers can start the 90-day fat loss program. This 90-day fat loss program was introduced in 2 of my roundtable videos already. So if you guys are unfamiliar with what this 90-day fat loss program is all about, this is my coach, Coach Raymond Nazon's genius mastermind of a program for those who are looking to lose fat, get body recomposition, feel amazing, and thrive on the carnivore diet. He teaches this within my Steak and Butter Gang monthly challenges. So for those who are new and who want to start off with the 90-day program, just come join the September 30-day carnivore challenge. You guys will just have to sign up for September, October, and November challenges separately to complete the full 90-day experience. For all details and how to sign up, please go to sbgmeetup.com on the screen or click the link down below in the description box. And if you want to familiarize yourself with the 90-day fat loss program and what it is about, feel free to check out the 2 roundtable videos that I have linked down below in the description box featuring my coaches and members who have completed the 90-day program. Without further ado, let me invite on my guest, Coach Cherish. Cherish, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, Belle. I'm super excited.
I am so excited to talk all things carnivore with you, but I'm going to open up with this first simple question. How did you come about the carnivore diet?
Originally, I started off as keto because of my husband. My husband was injured and we had watched a documentary and I was explaining to him that it had anti-inflammatory way of eating. He asked me to do it with him. And I really didn't think that I was going to get any benefits from it because I was doing it for him, supporting him. Little did I know that I would wind up, losing weight and losing inflammation and starting to feel better. But I wanted more. And he had such great healing. I mean, he was on 8 different medications for his diabetes, and now he's down to 1. So with that, through the journey of being keto, there are some things that kind of trip you up a little bit, or that can keep you addicted to food. Nut butters was a huge addiction for me. And I was starting to really feel like my gut was really upset over the keto treats. Like I would make mug cakes and fat bombs. We even had Fat Bomb Friday. That's all I would do is make all these different kind of fat bombs with all these sweeteners. And I just started to notice that it started to wreak havoc on my gut. And I felt terrible. I'm studying to become a coach. And I come across this YouTube video and there's this gal and she's holding a 30-day carnivore challenge. And I'm like, what the heck? I might as well, give it a try. And that gal was you. So that's how I started my carnivore challenge, and I've been doing it ever since.
And on top of that, this month is your carniversary. So how does it feel to have reached your 1-year milestone?
It feels amazing. When I started with still some things left in. I never thought that I'd be the type of person to drink hot water instead of coffee or tea. I never thought I'd be the kind of person that would be able to totally give up all the sweeteners. And I've been able to do that thanks to carnivore.
Cherish here is being incredibly humble about her whole journey, but she was one of my first members when I first started the Carnivore Challenges. She was one of the few members who were confident and brave enough to unmute, turn their camera on, and actually talk and update and share struggles, victories, questions, which I feel like is an incredibly important part of community. Cherish contributed greatly to the community last year when she joined. And I remember your struggle initially with that last 10%, like you referred to. So you mentioned you had this addiction almost to nut butters. How difficult was it letting it go, as well as the stevia and the coffee? Talk about how you successfully cut it out.
Baby steps is how I did it. Some folks are all in folks and they can cut out everything all at once. And some folks like me sometimes need to stair step things. So I took a more baby step approach, gave myself mini goals every month. So every month it would be a new goal, a new challenge that was personalized just for me. And I would put it out there in the community. When we were meeting for the first time and I got unmuted, and the first thing I said was, I'm giving up nut butters. And just putting it out there in the universe holds you accountable, because you're like, oh, well, now I got to do it. I said I was going to do it. So now I'm that type of person. If I say I'm going to do something, I usually do it. So I had to do it. And I just kept thinking, these folks are waiting for these updates about how my journey is going. And I really don't want to let anybody down. And I don't want to let myself down. I just got the stuff out of the house. That totally helps. My kids didn't like nut butters anyway. My husband could take it or leave it. So I just stopped buying it.
That is a really great tip, is to just make sure that those foods are not sitting in your house, because if it's there, you will always have the temptation to want to reach for it when you have those late night munchies, which are incredibly difficult to combat when you're so new to carnivore. So with the nut butters, did you replace it with any certain types of foods to kind of satisfy that craving?
There was a trick that I learned in our group, the butter trick. So whenever you have a craving, instead of, reaching for that craving, you reach for a little teaspoon of butter. And that really helped. I mean, I can't even tell you, I still do it to this day. It's not that I have cravings today, but every now and again, as a woman, you kind of feel like you might need a little bit more fat all of a sudden. And normally that indicator, we've been taught that we're supposed to eat chocolate when our hormones are asking for that fat. So when I feel that, I just reach for a little butter.
I would love to talk to you about female hormones. Perimenopause is something that you are going through, and it's very rare that I come across a female carnivore guest who is so open to talk about this topic. So Cherish, feel free to talk about whatever you want regarding menopause and female hormones on the carnivore diet.
I've noticed that through carnivore, and also coupled with the fasting that we do in our group, which is completely optional, you do get some more advanced healing. I just noticed that things started to improve that I never expected to improve. I always thought that as a female, that you were supposed to not get good sleep, that you were supposed to stay up late and wake up early and feel tired all day. It was just part of getting older. Well, I noticed that started to resolve. The more that I leaned into carnivore foods and fats, that whole process helped with my sleep. So clearly there was something going on with my cortisol that was, keeping me up at night. Our livers as human beings start to ramp up in the middle of the night. And usually you want that to go down. And one of the ways of doing that is to lean into fat. So just by eating enough fatty meat, you can actually replenish and re-nourish yourself and actually heal from things like biphasic sleep, which is something that I did. Incontinence is something that I've never talked about. Women don't like to talk about it. It's embarrassing, and I'm sure men have it too. I mean, there's a whole adult diaper section now. We see those commercials all the time, right? Yeah. And we're taught that this is normal, that you're just supposed to lose bladder control. If you're a woman of a certain age or a man of a certain age, you're just supposed to lose your bladder control. Well, what the heck is that all about? I just noticed all of a sudden that went away. And I didn't do any special exercises for it. I mean, I just ate carnivore and fasted. And next thing I know, I don't have this problem anymore. So it was amazing.
Wow, that's fantastic. We're going to talk about your experience with fasting on carnivore later, but I kind of want to go back to cutting out that last 10%. What I find super helpful and enlightening in the Steak and Butter Gang meetings, which by the way, Coach Cherish hosts alongside me. She does every single week, Friday Carnivore 101 calls just for our members who are new to the carnivore diet, who feel like they have a lot of basic newbie questions. We focus on all of those only. So Coach Cherish, when it comes to, let's say, a member saying that they're really struggling with their addiction to coffee, and on top of that, when they have coffee, they have to have it with stevia and cream. What is your first action plan or step to cut those things out?
So for me, what helped the most was diluting the coffee or whatever the thing is. So if it's tea, coffee, soda, if you're addicted to diet soda, which I used to be a long time ago, finding either a substitute. So when I first came to the challenge, I was drinking tea. Well, I don't really enjoy black tea by itself, and I was using too much sweetener. So then I moved to coffee. Well, I was still using some sweetener and butter, but not as much. And then I kind of baby stepped my way. All right, if I'm going to drink coffee, I just want to do it with butter. I want to get rid of the sweetener. So then I found a coffee that I could drink on its own without the stevia or the monk fruit, right? So it's just a matter of making it work for you and finding that thing that's going to help you continue to push forward to that ultimate goal. So it was a long process. I mean, I've been in your challenge for a year, and I literally just gave up coffee 6 weeks ago.
Congrats, Cherish.
I used to drink like 32 ounces of coffee a day, which is a lot, right? So I would fill up one 20-ounce cup of coffee to start. And then I would drink some down, and I would take my hot water and I would dilute it. And then I would drink a little bit more down, and I would just keep diluting it and diluting it. And then eventually I started making it diluted. And then I just started reducing the ounces from there. I went from like 16 ounces to 12 with hot water. And then I just kept going down and down and down, just stair-stepping my way all the way down until eventually I was like, I'm not even really drinking this anymore. Why am I keeping it in? I'll just let it go. I announced it in a meeting, so I had to do it.
Yes, there's something about just announcing it in front of, your fellow carnivores, in front of your tribe, that really keeps you committed. All right, so now let's move into your experience implementing fasting in your lifestyle. How did you start fasting? Did you have experience when you were on the keto diet?
Yeah, so I started fasting with keto. For me, keto and this carnivore journey are like a big scientific experiment of my own, N=1. I was really into intermittent fasting, and I just kept trying to push it. But I remember white knuckling it so hard, just trying to get a 23-hour fast in. Like I would watch the app. Is it time yet? Is it time yet? Fasting was still hard for me at first. But I have learned through our process in the Steak and Butter Gang that there's a much easier way of doing it if you just re-nourish yourself through a process that we call priming. Once I did that, fasting became a lot more comfortable.
I reintroduced priming to my channel by having Raymond, Bart, and Steven come on talking about this whole priming concept, as well as their feasting and fasting experience. So it would be fantastic to have a female perspective, yours, Cherish, of what it was like for you to go through the entire priming protocol.
I did it for a month after failing at the first round of rolling 48s. I had my hormones tested and everything was low. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this. Why is this not working right? Well, it wasn't working right because I didn't prime properly first. I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought, I can do this. I've done it on keto before. No, it was so different, so different. I just went ahead and leaned in for the entire month of December. Great month to prime because you can lean into all fun holiday meats right at that time. So that's what I did. Yes. And so the process was actually for me enjoyable. until the very end. And then it just got to be like, okay, I'm ready to fast again.
Awesome. Did you see any deep healing or benefits during that month of priming?
I'm so glad you asked me that, because that's exactly how I fixed my sleep patterns.
Oh,
So for over 17 years, probably even way before I even met my husband, I can think back to when I was doing bodybuilding back in the day, and I would wake up in the middle of the night just ravenous and would have to like grab a yogurt or something to go back to sleep. And then, fast forward a little bit, I'm a mom. And again, we're conditioned to believe that when you're a mom, that you lose a ton of sleep. And this is just how your life's going to be, because you're a mom. And that's how it's going to be for the rest of your life. You're not going to sleep as much as you used to or you're going to have, broken up sleep or biphasic sleep, because you're a mom, and that's what moms do. Little did I know, after priming, all of a sudden I'm sleeping like 6 hours steady, where before I would only sleep maybe 4 hours, get up, and then sleep like another 2. It fixed my sleep, which was actually one of my very first goals coming into your challenge. And I was just so ecstatic. I was like, I can sleep again. This is amazing. And it's a deep sleep, like usually things that just like I could hear a cricket and wake up, that's how light I used to sleep. And now I sleep nice and deep for a good solid 6.
For a lot of females, especially, I would say even more so than men who do give this priming protocol a chance, they see healing on a different level that they've never experienced before. Things that have been chronic issues their whole life, when they do the priming, they see an even deeper level of healing, which is great. To learn what priming is all about and how to start it, please start off by checking out my 2 roundtable videos. The first one featuring Coach Raymond, Coach Stephen, and Professor Bart K. And my second roundtable with an all-female panel, Coach Emily, Rosa, and Jess. If after watching the video you would like to join the Steak and Butter Gang challenges to start the full 90-day experience, please go to sbgmeetup.com or click the link down below in the description box to sign up for my next 30-day carnivore challenge. The September group is now open for sign up, and once you are in, you will see that every single Tuesday, priming will be taught by Coach Raymond and Emily. Every Sunday, you will have access to Coach Raymond's fasting classes. In addition to the fasting and priming calls, as you can see, we also have fat loss and fitness with Coach Stephen every Friday, where you are able to comment your questions regarding fat loss, weight loss, body recomposition, so Coach Stephen can answer. And we also have Carnivore Health 101 with Coach Stephen, where you can again comment your questions regarding health concerns on the carnivore diet, and Coach Stephen will help and answer. Like I mentioned, we also have Carnivore 101 with Coach Cherish herself and Coach Adek, where they answer all of your newbie questions related to how to start the carnivore diet in the best way possible. To access all of these live Zoom calls, please join the next 30-day carnivore challenge in the Steak and Butter Gang. And since you have so much experience with improving sleep hygiene, do you have any tips and tricks for somebody who has difficulty falling asleep?
I don't actually look at a screen before I go to bed. I will listen to a podcast. I'll listen to like an audio book or something. Sometimes I'll do some deep breathing exercises. I've recommended that to clients. That's helped some folks, just to kind of get into a relaxed state. Blue blockers are great, to keep that blue light out of your eyes so that you can relax and go to sleep. And then there's always butter.
Yeah.
Butter is always not a little fat right before bed. Doesn't hurt anybody.
Yes, I was waiting for you to say that. And we have a lot of members who come forward after hearing our butter trick for healing, but also for sleep. And they'll come forward and say, guess what? I just tried some butter before bedtime and I was able to fall asleep / sleep deeper. Are your glasses actually blue blockers?
Yeah, there's blue block in them. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And since we're on the topic of improving sleep quality and sleep hygiene, if you're having issues with sleep, falling asleep, and or staying asleep, blue blockers are a great biohack to try out. So I have these two types of blue blocker glasses. The reason why I have a red colored one and a clear colored one is really just to do with, am I going to be on camera or am I just going to be alone in my office editing in front of a computer? So with this one, it's a lot more heavy duty. It has more protection for the eyes from blue light. Why do we want to protect our eyes from blue light? Because when we look at blue light, like computer, iPad, phone, TV screens, we are preventing our body from producing melatonin to help us fall asleep. So when we wear something that protects our eyes from blue light, our body is able to unwind, relax, and be able to produce that melatonin, which will help us to fall asleep at night. I love these red ones for whenever I am editing. And I even wear these red ones, even if it's daytime outside. I just want to protect my eyes from any type of strain, any dryness in my eyes, and any fatigue and headaches from looking at a huge bright screen for hours on end. And I love this specific design. This is called the Magnum design because it is great for Asian faces. And what I mean by that is the nose rest is adjustable. So you can make it sit higher on a flatter nose. Us Asian faces just tend to have flatter noses. So these are adjustable for the nose rest. And the size of the frames are just so comfortable, so spacious, and it doesn't feel like these frames are squeezing my temples, which gives me headaches. These are great for just hosting Zoom calls in my steak and butter gang. I wear these one if I'm gonna go out and I wanna protect my eyes from any type of blue light or harsh lighting. I have linked both of these blue light blocking classes down below in the description box, and I have a 20% off discount code for you all. Just use the code SBGAL, SBGAL, at checkout to get 20% off your order. Another thing that I see a lot in the community, and this does even affect sleep, hormones, even fat loss, is stress. And I want to bring this up with you, Coach Cherish, because you talk about this so much. It's honestly because of you that the community in the meetings are just so aware of how important managing stress is, especially when we have women who say that they just cannot lose those last few pounds of fat or that they're having issues with healing. Can you speak a little bit about stress?
I do have a very high stress day job. And my life can become very hectic. I have a full-time job. I'm a coach, and I also have a family and a husband and animals, and I have to take care of it all. Yeah. And so stress management is extremely important to me. So a couple of biohacks that I have learned to do have helped me manage my stress. Carnivore is the biggest biohack in that equation, by the way. The fasting sometimes helps, sometimes not. It just depends. If the fasting gets to be too much, and if I feel overstressed, then that's the time to back off. So if you're feeling stressed out, whether from work or whatever, the last thing you want to do is add more hormetic stress to your life. You want to just take it easy and just, eat carnivore and just, allow that stress to pass. But I also like to ground. I like to go out in my bare feet with the dog every day. Sunlight in the eyes. I love that. And then I walk the dog every morning very early. It's our time. It's quiet time. I listen to comedy while I walk her because I feel like laughter is a good medicine. I have a standing desk. I'm sure you can tell I am standing right now. Yeah. And I also have an under the desk treadmill that walks at a very slow pace. And to hear these struggles, to hear the successes, to hear all of it fills my cup. It gives me life. It's what I live for. And it's the reason I show up to every meeting because it's where I come for joy. It gives me joy to hear everybody. And even at their worst times, just to be there for somebody, just to be able to be a good steward for them. That's what I live for. And that's why I became a coach.
Yeah. And we definitely feel your love in the meetings, Cherish. One of my favorite phrases that you love to share with us is give yourself grace.
Yeah.
And you rock that phrase. You really embody that whole mentality of giving yourself grace. Don't push yourself. This is not a competition. Pushing ourselves to the limit, maybe sometimes beyond the limit, and then having to suffer with consequences like hair loss, like wrecked hormones. So having you always there reminding us in the meetings, give yourself grace, take it at your own pace is so helpful. So how did you develop that healthy mindset?
Because I had to tell myself that on a repetitive basis. I am extremely hard on myself.
Yeah.
And I think finding this community and actually, coming to the meetings and everything and having to have that mantra myself, that I've actually really taken that and applied it to my own life, with my job, with being a mom, with being a wife. You just realize that you're not perfect. You're not going to be able to do things. It just comes from even my own journey of trying to give myself grace every now and again, because I can really beat myself up sometimes.
I'm sure you've learned so much along your way of yo-yo dieting. I would love for you to speak on that. You're experiencing with bouncing all over the place with crazy diets. How did that impact your health today and your entire healing journey?
The impacts are still being felt. I've learned so much about how the mistakes I made in my 20s and my 30s led to me feeling terrible in my 40s. So, I used to do Weight Watchers at one point. You weighed in every week. So if you were going to cheat, you could cheat, at the first part of the week, and then you starve yourself, or you really hit it hard towards the end of the week. And that in and of itself is a mini yo-yo right there.
Yeah.
So, and at any time I had a big event coming up, I could literally just stop eating, as much, and I would lose weight. When I would go out to the bars, instead of eating, I would just drink, which is extremely unhealthy and dangerous for anybody to do. You can get alcohol poisoning real quick doing it that way. Mm-hmm. But those are the mistakes that I made. I did suffer in my 40s for it, felt terrible, didn't know why, had a lot of female issues. And once I started cleaning up my diet, and then once finding carnivore, all that stuff started to kind of heal, because I thought, I'm getting older, I'm supposed to feel like dirt. Yeah. But after all that yo-yo dieting, over exercising, all the things that I did wrong, my body, after just 1 year of carnivore, is healing, and the healing hasn't stopped. It's a continuing journey.
Now, do you think the carnivore diet can truly fix anything and everything?
Unfortunately, it is not a fix-all. I can testify that there are still some things that I know that carnivore probably will not heal completely. They do make it more manageable. So I have TMJ, which is extremely painful. Mm-hmm. It's actually called, I learned through one of our guests, that it's actually called TMD, because it's the muscle disorder, but everybody knows it as TMJ. And so it causes my jaw to pop, lock, and I get excruciating pain all the way into my ear, so much so that it's debilitating. Like I couldn't even wear an earbud or anything like that in that ear at all, and didn't want to talk to anybody, and literally would feel like scratching somebody's eyes out. Because if you've ever had like an ear infection, it feels like that 10 times worse. It is horrific pain. So I noticed that carnivore, helped, but if I had extreme stress, I would still wind up with that pain. Did it completely heal it? No. But the incidents I was having from the job that I currently still hold were happening maybe 2 to 3 times a week. And now it happens maybe once a month, if that.
Give us a typical idea of a day in your life with carnivore eating. What type of fasting routines are you doing right now?
So right now I'm doing an alternate day fast every other day eating. So basically, and I do it in a kind of tricky way that I like to do. Yeah. It works for my lifestyle, being a busy mom. And it also allows you to eat every day if you do it early enough. Mm-hmm. So if you eat at 6 a.m. in the morning, which is early for some people, but if you don't drink coffee, just eat, get your hot water, be done with it. Then eat again the following day at 6 p.m. or after, you have now fasted more than 24 hours and you didn't miss one day of eating. So that's what I really like to do. And I really enjoy that. They're a lot of fun. And you kind of take a break from those alternate day fasts. So then you can reset the clock, right? So if you have a couple of days where you do 2 meals a day, then you kind of start over. I've had clients who have been doing like 1 meal a day for so long, and then all of a sudden things just stall.
Yes.
So, we switch up meal timings, or we switch up the type of meals, just kind of introduce something new, just kind of keep the body guessing a little bit, because when you think about it, primal man didn't eat the same thing every day. They ate whatever they could catch, right? Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to think in terms of, yes, well, this might be my favorite meal. And by all means, if that's going to keep you carnivore, do that. Yes. Just, it will take you, it doesn't take as long if you kind of fluctuate things a little bit, And I think there's a misconception that you have to be kind of like a mono diet in order to have success on carnivore. We see so many people that that's not true.
Since we're on the topic of weight stalls, this is something that a lot of our carnivores who, come into this lifestyle and stick to it are frustrated with. We get a lot of members who say, well, I've been at it for a year, 2 years even, and yet my weight is not budging. When this issue is brought up, what type of solutions do you usually offer in the meetings? Well, I know, but you can share with the audience.
If you're reaching a certain point of weight stall, first of all, weight is just a number. You want to focus on your body composition. And that's where, one of the other first things I did was I threw away my scale when I started this way of eating, because I found out very quickly that it's about body composition, strength, bone density, and all these things. Muscle and bone density won't make that number on the scale go down. In fact, it might make the number on the scale go up, but you may look completely different, completely smaller. You may actually start shrinking, and you could weigh the exact same.
What I have learned from the coaches, Cherish included, in the gang, in the meetings, taking away the habits that are detrimental to our long-term success are key to making sure that you don't slip off, that you don't have a super depressing day just because your scale set a number that you didn't want to see. Progress over perfection. We are here to support you through all of your struggles. Taking one step backward is totally fine as long as you're taking steps forward consistently. So we do not support any type of restriction. We will never, ever tell you to lower your calorie intake. We don't even tell you to count calories at all. We will never tell you to play around with macros or limit protein versus fat, whatever. That's just a headache. We will also encourage you to eat to appetite, to listen to your body. Even if you don't know what that feels like, we are here to aid you and support you along the way. When it comes to weight loss stalls, what types of foods, through your experience, would you recommend versus not recommend?
Are you eating dairy? Is dairy possibly, stalling your progress and maybe removing it? Yes. Just even for a temporary. I like to use dairy occasionally now just as a dessert. I don't eat it on a regular basis anymore. So that's one of the biggest recommendations that I can make. Dairy being cheese, milk.
Yes.
Butter's always fine.
That's a great point. We see this in the community again so much. When our members cut out that last 10%, sometimes cheese can be in that category if your goal is fat loss and body recomposition. But we see profound results when somebody says, I cut out the coffee, or I cut out that small smidge of stevia. And guess what? I dropped 2 pant sizes. So it always surprises us every time we hear these types of updates, but they are not unusual. They're actually quite common. So something that I connect with Cherish all the time, and this is a great little wrap up question, is we love making Instagram reels together. This is something that I truly don't connect with anybody else on. So it's something that really bonds me with Cherish. And I always look forward to my conversations with her, because Cherish and I are always having fun, making really cool, informative reels, which I'm sure you guys all appreciate, because when there's a way to bring carnivore info and help to the table in a creative and entertaining way, that is what we are all about. So Cherish, with your experience, how has it impacted your life?
I've learned to kind of do the reels in groups when the mood really strikes you. And then if the mood strikes me, I'll just do a whole bunch in one day. And so it's kind of like I schedule that time just so I can sit in the office or kind of go outside or whatever. Or even if I'm just out and about and the mood strikes me, I'll just do one real quick. I at least do one a day. And I've actually gotten more into sharing more on the stories so that people can get to know me and my actual life better.
Yeah, I don't know how Cherish does it, but she's a full-time mom to furry animals and kids, and she has a full-time job, and she shows up at all of the community meetings, and she privately coaches / co-coaches. So she truly is a superwoman. And on top of that, she is so active, always putting out excellent content. Please do take a minute to go follow Coach Cherish at her Instagram and YouTube channel. I just learn something new every single day when I open my Instagram because the first thing that I see is your reel.
This is what I call a fabulous fatty latte. Start with some hot water, then 1 egg yolk, a couple heaping, and I mean heaping, tablespoons of real butter. Add to the cup while your water is brewing. And then get your frother or your blender ready to go. Start adding your hot water quickly, moving quickly so that the egg yolk does not cook. Get the frother ready and froth it up for about 30 seconds to a minute. Add some salt and you're ready to go. And there you have it, my fabulous fatty latte recipe. This is a really good after dinner drink or after meal drink to just get some extra fat, which fat is really good for everybody really, but particularly us gals, we need to have extra fat in our diets. So this is one way that I like to incorporate additional fat into my carnivore diet. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for hitting that thumbs up button, subscribe, and please share this video with somebody that you think might enjoy.
Coach Cherish, where can people find you if they would like to work with you, if they want to get to know you even more?
Oh, thank you, Bella. You're so sweet for saying all of that. So you can reach me at all YouTube and Instagram at Cherishing. So my name, ING, Your Health, on IG and YouTube. Also can find me in the Steak and Butter Gang every single week, all the Zoom meetings and in the chat boxes.
Thank you, Cherish, for being here. I love you so much.
Love you back. Thank you. And thanks, everybody.
Thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation with Cherish. I have linked all of Cherish's socials so you guys can connect and send her your love down below in the description box. Again, if you would like to join the Steak and Butter Gang 30-day carnivore challenges, feel free to go to sbgmeetup.com or click the link down below in the description box. This is where you will learn the entire 90-day fat loss program taught and designed by Coach Raymond Nazon. If you would like to complete the full 90-day experience, you will just have to sign up for 3 30-day carnivore challenges in a row. So let's say you sign up for the September challenge to start the 90-day program. You'll just have to sign up for the October challenge when I open up the October group, and then the November challenge when November opens to complete the full 90-day experience. If you have any questions at all, feel free to email me or DM me on Instagram, and I'm happy to help you guys out. Thank you all again for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe and turn on the bell notifications to not miss my future videos. Have a good day, guys. See you in my next video. To start the full 90-day experience, please go to sbgmeetup.com or click the link down below in the description box to sign up for my next 30-day carnivore challenge. The September group is now open for sign up, and once you are in, you will see that every single Tuesday, priming will be taught by Coach Raymond and Emily. Every Sunday, you will have access to Coach Raymond's fasting classes. In addition to the fasting and priming calls, as you can see, we also have fat loss and fitness with Coach Steven every Friday, where you are able to comment your questions regarding fat loss, weight loss, body recomposition, so Coach Steven can answer. And we also have Carnivore Health 101 with Coach Steven, where you can again comment your questions regarding health concerns on the carnivore diet, and Coach Steven will help and answer. Like I mentioned, we also have Carnivore 101 with Coach Cherish herself and Coach Adek, where they answer all of your newbie questions related to how to start the carnivore diet in the best way possible. To access all of these live Zoom calls, please join the next 30-day carnivore challenge by clicking the link down below in the description box or by going to sbgmeetup.com.